Welcome back to my channel, guys. As you can see, we are in Goodwill. In today's video, we are going to be doing a thrift to treasure. So Connie from The Painted Photographer released her new rice papers, and I thought, what a perfect opportunity to find a few items to completely transform for today's video. So join me as we look through Goodwill and find a few items. The first item I took home was this bread box, and it did not have a lid, but I wasn't going to use it as a bread box. So first and foremost, I took my razor blade and I want to remove bread on both sides. So I scrape as much of the paint off as I possibly can. Then I'm going in with my soak off, and I've used this on a number of projects, you guys. It is an amazing, it's a nail polish remover, but it's for gel nails, so it takes off virtually everything. I give it a good scrub, I take off all of that paint, and now it's time to transform this bread box. The first thing I'm using is a paper from Waitlist decoupage paper called Holiday Patterns. And this is a really cool paper because it has two different patterns on it. And I actually used it on a previous video, and so I was breaking it out. Now, do not be alarmed that there's some wrinkles on here because we are gonna smooth out every single one. I was really torn. Do I want this side with this Hollander cow, or do I want the other side of the paper? And I went back and forth. I finally settled on this paper or this side of the paper, and I think it's gonna work perfectly. So the first thing that I do here is I mist the entire paper because I want to activate the fibers in there, and then I lay it down and I situate the paper exactly where I want it on this galvanized container. Then I'm going in with liquid patina, and I am starting off by applying a starter strip, which is a nice thin layer of whatever decoupage medium that you guys want to use. I love liquid patina, but you can use any decoupage medium. I'm then laying down my paper, taking my paintbrush, and I'm smoothing out the paper. And as you can see, all the wrinkles are gone. And I then work my way down. So I lift the paper up and then I continue downward, adding more liquid patina and then smoothing out my paper. After your project is completely dry, sand away the excess in a downward motion, and then it's ready for the rice paper. So what we're gonna do is take water and a paintbrush, and I am just going to add water all the way around the entire perimeter of this image. After I did it, I think I probably should have just cut it out, but I still love the way it looked. I just really love that natural, authentic fiber look on the very edge of all the rice papers. Typically, I really don't like to go in with the scissors, but because I was applying it to the very front, maybe I should have gotten rid of a little bit more of that white edge. But in the end, like I said, I still love how this turned out. So you're gonna see, I'm just gonna go work my way around the entire perimeter and then wet it and then pull towards me to give me that fibrous look. Here's what it looks like so far. Now we're painting the backside of the Hollander cow white. And the reason I'm doing this is that I really want my image to pop. And this has been a big discussion because many say you don't have to paint the backside white, and you are absolutely correct. I did not paint the backside of the plaid paper white. I just wanted that paper to really blend into that galvanized container. But this I want to pop off of that plaid paper. So I'm gonna go in, paint it white, let it dry, and now it's time to apply. Again, I'm going in with liquid patina from DIY Paint, and it is truly my go-to medium for decoupage. So I'm laying just a nice even coat of the liquid patina down, and then I'm going to smooth out that rice paper. And with the rice paper, I do go in a little bit heavier than I would with the Waitlist decoupage paper. You are definitely going to notice the decoupage paper is an 18-pound tissue paper, so it's a little bit more lightweight, and then the rice paper is a little bit heavier. And I start with that starter strip, so I get my image positioned. I start on top, and then I work my way down. After the project is completely dry, I go in with IOD's Fairy Tale Florals, and it is a beautiful transfer that has a bunch of florals, and I am picking out just several that have the same types of tones like yellows, purples, and we're going to add them all around the image of this Hollander cow. I just think she is so cute. I love all the little daisies in her, around her neck and up by her horns. I just think she's beautiful, and I think by adding just a little bit more of the purples and yellows, it's just going to bring this whole project together. The last step is I'm going in with Big Top and I'm sealing my entire project, and I'm just applying one even coat of the Big Top to the entire piece. I ended up finding 3 really cool pieces of glassware. 2 had that hobnail, and then this one had a really cool flat surface, and I thought it would be perfect for this one, a lilac humor. And you guys, this is so beautiful. I love lilacs in the spring, and I think this is going to be perfect on these 3 jars. I decided to use Eden from DIY Paint. This is one of Debbie's new paint colors. I absolutely love it. And all these products I'm using in today's video, you guys, can be found on my website at www.sonnetsgardenblooms.com. Now what I'm doing here is applying 2 even coats of Eden to all 3 glass jars. If you haven't used DIY Paint yet, you can definitely apply it to glass. Once it's sealed, it actually becomes rock hard and you don't have to worry about it chipping off. I do like to make sure that it is completely dry in between coats, and then we're going to come back and we're going to distress and add the rice paper and really finish this project. While those are drying, I'm going to take this paintbrush and a bit of water, and I am going to wet the edges, and then I am going to tear away some of the white edge. And this is going to make it look a lot more authentic. I love the fibrous look of that rice paper by tearing it. And by wetting it, it makes it so much easier to tear, you guys. There's a lot of fibers in there, and by adding that water, it just weakens those fibers a little bit and allows you to tear it that much easier. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides, and I just really love this look. Next, I'm using beadboard from DIY Paint, and I'm going to paint the backside white. And what this is going to do is really allow that rice paper to pop off of that green Eden color, and it doesn't blend in. I really like doing this. Again, I've talked about this before. You don't have to paint that backside white. If you want your paper to pop, then do this. Next, I'm going to apply the rice paper to my container. I'm using liquid patina. I always like to situate the rice paper exactly where I want it, then use that starter strip. And like I mentioned earlier, I like to go in a little bit heavier with the liquid patina when I'm using rice paper. And once I get that situated, then I smooth it out and I work my way down. Next, I'm taking a damp rag and I'm just going to wet distress all 3 bottles. And I'm randomly just going over all those little hobnails around any of the raised edges. I just wanted to have a little bit more distressed look. That's the look I'm going for. You do not need to do this step. You can just seal it as is, and the project would be then finished. Now that I distressed all 3 bottles and they are dry, I'm going in with Big Top, and I am going to seal all 3 bottles with Big Top. I found this little Good Coffee sign, and it was actually tore on that corner. I thought I would try to give it a little tug to see if I could peel it off, and it wouldn't come off that easy. So I'm taking my little razor blade. I use this all the time, you guys. It is definitely my go-to for taking off stickers, labels, and this is going to be perfect to take off this like coffee sign. Next, I'm using beadboard, and I'm just going to apply 1 even coat of beadboard. The coffee sign actually left a little bit of white background, and I just wanted to have it a nice even coat. There was a bit of wood peeping here and there, and I'm going to apply just 1 even coat. I decided to use Busy Bee, and this is such a fun rice paper. I love the bees on here, and I love how Connie does just a single image, like a large image, and then on another paper she'll do a 3-up, and that's what we're going to use on this one. It's the multiple Busy Bee, and I'm using the larger of the 3 images. I'm going to lay it down, figure out exactly where I want the bees to be positioned. I'm going to then mist my paper, and then we're going to start applying it. Typically, I like to position my paper, then take the top and tilt it back, mist, and then apply the liquid patina. I just decided because this project is so small, I'm going to mist my paper completely, apply the full liquid patina to the entire little sign, and then just apply my rice paper. And honestly, because the sign is so small, I had really good control, and this was a very easy way to do this. I typically say don't do this, especially if you're using recycled tissue paper. Here with the rice paper, you can maneuver and manipulate the rice paper because it's a little bit heavier without the worry of tearing it. Once I get it all positioned, I just take the liquid patina, apply a nice even coat, and then we're gonna let this dry. After it's dry, I take a piece of sandpaper and in a downward motion, I get rid of all that extra paper, and I do that all the way around. On a previous project, I actually poured resin in the conservatory labels. It's a beautiful mold from IOD. I pulled out one of those and we're going to use it on this little sign. What I love is Connie paints all her rice papers with DIY paint. So the yellow in the bees was painted with Queen Bee. So I am painting this little conservatory label Queen Bee. I'm going to let it dry and then we're going to stamp a little fun saying on it and decorate it up, and it's just going to tie all together with this sign. Next, I'm using the Apothecary label stamp set, and this has 4 very tiny fonts, which is perfect for these little conservatory labels. I am actually laying out the saying happy, and we're going to use a piece of thin mount, pick it up, and then use IOD's permanent black ink, ink up the word happy, and then lay it down, and then ever so gently rub over the word happy, and then you get a perfect image. I hope you've been enjoying today's video, you guys, because this week at the Bloomers headquarters, it has been crazy busy. I have been wrapping everything up for the Maker's Box, and if you haven't heard, next week I am doing a relaunch. So what that means to you guys is I'm adding additional spots for the Maker's Box. If you want to snag one of those boxes, get on the wait list. I will have that linked in the description below. And next week, you guys will be the very first ones who get first dibs at the Maker's Box spots. So like I said, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and we will see you in the next one.
I'll be your light, I'll keep you from darkness. Even when the sun don't shine.